I started just like everyone else. It was a quiet evening. In a small room, the only sounds were the soft hum of a fan and the glow from my computer screen. While aimlessly scrolling through YouTube, I stumbled upon a video about financial freedom. A man in a suit stood in front of a whiteboard, marker in hand, voice full of passion. As long as you know the way, you can make money anytime, anywhere. All you need is a laptop. It sounded too easy, too good to be true, but I believed it. I believed it completely. Believed as if, finally, I had found a path, a way out of all the exhaustion and the limitations that life had wrapped around me. Right after that, I threw myself into learning with all the excitement and belief I had. I watched dozens of videos every day. I bought books, took careful notes, printed out charts, and drew trend lines by hand. I read every piece of material I could find. I believed that if I was good enough, if I learned every pattern, if I could read candlesticks, identify trends, then success was guaranteed. I used to think that if I just learned everything, understood every tool, every indicator, then that would be enough. But I was wrong. I was wrong because I forgot the most important element in trading, my own mind. On the first day I placed a real trade, I never expected to be that nervous. My hands were soaked with sweat. My heart was pounding so hard it felt like it was in my throat. And when the price started moving, I lost control. I closed the trade early afraid. Then I regretted it when the market turned in my favor. I rushed back in and lost again. I knew how to analyze. I knew where to enter, where to exit. I even knew where the stop loss should be, but I didn't follow through. I didn't cut the loss when I should have. I held on to trades I should have closed. I hoped the market would come back, simply because I couldn't accept being wrong. I wasn't lacking knowledge, I was lacking discipline. Trading isn't a game of intelligence. It's a game of consistency, and I was not consistent. I knew exactly what I should do, but I didn't do it. All the theories I had learned collapsed in the face of one thing: emotion. And then it happened. After a few stubborn trades, I blew my first account. It wasn't just money I lost my confidence. The belief I once held like a flame was suddenly extinguished. I looked at myself in the mirror and saw someone who no longer believed in himself. I was once filled with ambition, but because I lacked discipline, I became someone who lived in shame and doubt. Discipline isn't a choice. It's the only thing that keeps a dream from becoming a nightmare. You know, losing money in trading doesn't feel like getting pickpocketed in a crowd. It doesn't feel like losing something valuable you accidentally left behind. It's deeper. It stings more. It cuts where you're most vulnerable. Your pride. Because deep down, you know. No one lied to you. No one forced you to enter that trade. No one grabbed your hand and made you hit buy or sell. No one destroyed your account except you, the one sitting in front of the screen. Forehead dripping with sweat, heart pounding wildly, because of a single red candle that just keeps falling, and falling, and falling. I've been there. And I still remember the countless sleepless nights. Not because the market was open, but because my mind wouldn't let me rest. It kept screaming inside my head. Was I wrong? Why did I take that trade? Why didn't I exit when I still had the chance? Am I wasting my life chasing something I'll never belong to? One losing trade, even just a few dollars, can collapse an entire fortress of mental strength. I lost my appetite. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I started distancing myself from everything, even from the people I loved. No one understood. No one saw it. I still showed up to work, still greeted everyone, still posted normal stories on social media, but inside was a battlefield shattered and burning. There were moments I stared at the chart and saw nothing. I didn't know what I was doing anymore. Didn't know what I was searching for. Only the fog, the fatigue, and that crushing feeling of failure looping over and over, like a spiral with no way out. I used to think the market was just unpredictable, that it was playing tricks on me, that it was unfair. But after enough pain, I finally understood. It wasn't that the market was too cruel. It was that I was too weak. Too weak in the face of greed. Too weak in the face of fear. Too weak to hold myself together in the storm of emotion. And that is the real tragedy. The only person I truly needed to conquer was the one person I couldn't control. Myself. I knew where to cut the loss. But I didn't cut. I knew I should have stopped. But I still took one more trade. I knew the market was chaotic. But I still jumped in, like a moth to a flame. I knew, but I didn't act. I wasn't lacking knowledge. I wasn't lacking tools. I was only missing one thing, and that one thing was the most important in this entire profession. Discipline. Discipline isn't glamorous. It doesn't excite you, but it's the only thing that can keep you alive. Without it, you slowly become someone even you don't recognize anymore. Lost, uncontrolled, and full of self-doubt. I used to be passionate, driven, but without discipline. I became someone who lived in quiet fear, in constant hesitation. Every morning, I would wake up asking myself, do I still have the strength to keep going? And if I could go back to the beginning, I wouldn't look for another strategy. I wouldn't chase a new setup. I would simply learn how to stay calm and steady, even in the moments when I felt like breaking. Because in the end, the biggest enemy is not on the chart. It's the one inside of you, if you've made it this far, and this story has touched something inside you. Please consider liking this video and sharing it. Someone out there might need to hear this too. Maybe it'll help them find their way before it's too late. Thank you. There were mornings when I powered on my screen early, coffee in hand, sunlight creeping through the window, gently lighting up the monitor. I was afraid of missing the move, afraid of watching price take off without me, and then blaming myself. I should have gotten in. I was afraid of the silence, afraid of doing nothing. Trading gradually stopped being about profits. It became an addiction to action. I wasn't placing trades to make money anymore. I was doing it to ease the itch inside me, to satisfy the restless urge, to let my hand click something, to give my mind something to cling to. But every time it was the same. I entered too early. I entered too late. I entered in the middle of noise. I entered at places I knew I should have stayed far away from. Emotion in trading doesn't come crashing in like a storm. It arrives softly, quietly, like a whisper. Just try, maybe this time it'll work. The market's about to move. Don't miss it. If you don't get in now, there might be no second chance. I once held on to a losing trade from a $100 drawdown to over $1,000. Not because I didn't know it was wrong, but because I couldn't accept being wrong. I even deposited more money, just to hold on longer, just to prove to myself that I was right, but I wasn't. And I kept repeating that mistake again and again, all because I didn't have the courage to stay still. Trading doesn't ask you to win every day. It doesn't ask you to be smarter than everyone else. It only asks you to wait. Trading is a game of patience. It's not for those who always need to be doing something, who only feel okay when they're in a trade. It's for those who can sit still for an entire week, just to wait for one good setup. And for me, that was the hardest part. Because being still may look easy, but it's the greatest test of strength. The days I didn't trade were the days I fought the hardest. Not against the market, but against myself. Against the fear of missing out. Against my need to prove something. Against that voice in my head that kept whispering, if you're doing nothing, you're failing. But the truth is, doing nothing is sometimes the greatest victory. Because knowing when to stop is one of the most important parts of survival. In trading, knowing when to stay still can be even harder than knowing when to click the button. The times I collapsed and the ways I forced myself to stand back up. I blew my account once, then again, then 5 times. And each time, it hurt every single time. I thought I wouldn't make it back, not just because of the money I lost, but because of that crushing feeling inside, that maybe I just wasn't good enough. Not patient enough, not disciplined enough. Have you ever opened your trading account and the balance reads only one word? Empty, no money, no more chances, no more hope. I turned off the screen, sat alone in the dark, and all I could feel was stupidity, failure, shame. It wasn't physical pain, it was a direct hit. Right into my self-worth. I told myself I should quit. That maybe I wasn't cut out for this. I tortured myself wondering, what did I do wrong? Why can others make money and I can't? But something kept me from walking away, not because I believed I'd succeed, but because I wasn't ready to give up. I knew I'd made countless mistakes. I didn't follow my trading plan. I overtraded. I moved my stop losses. I failed to take profits. I let emotion overpower logic. And worst of all, I didn't learn from my mistakes. So I made a choice. No more chasing new strategies. No more reading complex systems. Instead, I sat down and wrote out every single mistake I had made. I started with the simplest things. Trade only when the signal is clear. Exit immediately when stop loss is hit. Take profits as planned. Never enter a trade because of emotion. Never try to recover a loss with blind revenge. I switched to demo trading, but not to test strategies. This time, it was to train my mind. I opened small trades, but followed every rule. I sat all day just to practice staying calm, and I told myself, learning how to stay out is also a skill. That's when I started to realize trading isn't just about technical analysis. It's a mental battle, a fight between you and yourself. No one forced me to enter those trades. No one moved my stop loss for me. No one told me to overtrade. It was all me, and that meant only I could fix it, so I created my own rules. If the market isn't clear, stay out. No more than 3 trades a day. Don't increase position size after a win. Don't get back at the market after a loss. I forced myself to follow these rules even when my heart was racing. Even when my hands were shaking. I forced myself to stop. Even when every part of me wanted to take just one more trade, I learned to accept one loss, instead of letting it destroy the entire account, bit by bit. I started rebuilding something far more valuable than a balance. My trust in myself, and for the first time in a very long time, I no longer felt like a victim. I no longer felt like someone being crushed by the market. I started to feel like I was finally taking control. I now know exactly what I'm doing, and more importantly, why I no longer expect to make money every single day. All I expect from myself is to do the right thing every single day. And strangely enough, the moment I stopped chasing profits, the profits started to come. Small, yes, but consistent. Not because I was more skilled than others, but because I had finally learned to control myself. Trading has never been easy, but if you have the courage to face your own failures and the strength to rise after each fall, you can go far. I'm still on this journey, but I'm walking it with a different mindset now. No longer impatient, no longer delusional. Just a man who knows who he is, knows where he stands, and knows that patience is the most sustainable edge in this brutal world of trading. These days, I don't feel euphoric when I win. I don't slam the desk or shout in excitement when a trade hits take profit. I no longer rage or blame anything when a stop loss is hit. I just do the right thing, day after day, step by step. Like a seasoned craftsman. No fireworks, no noise. Just quiet repetition, precision, discipline. Without skipping a beat, trading is no longer an emotional roller coaster to me. It's a job, a serious profession. Every mouse click is a calculation. Every trade, a promise I make to myself. I once saw discipline as chains, rigid, boring. Something that stripped away my freedom in trading. I broke it many times because I thought I was smart enough to be flexible, and each time I lost everything. Now I understand, discipline is not an option. It's the prerequisite for survival. Without it, I can't control greed. Without it, I can't stop myself from overtrading. Without it, I will move my stops, hold on to false hope, and watch my account slowly dissolve. I don't need another lesson. I've had more than enough. I've collapsed at midnight because of one stupid trade. I've added funds to recover losses, only to lose even more. I've sat for hours in front of the screen, so stressed I could barely breathe. Because I didn't know whether to cut or hold, and every one of those moments came from one root cause, lack of discipline. But now, discipline is no longer something I force on myself. It has become part of my daily rhythm. Like breathing, like brushing my teeth. No mental fight, no inner struggle. Just doing the right thing, repeatedly, without compromise. Because I know it only takes one slip, one moment of weakness, one broken rule, and I could fall back into the same dark pit. that took me months to climb out of. That's why I hold myself tighter than anyone else ever could. I set limits. I write down my rules. I post them right in front of me. And I don't just stay disciplined during trading hours. I stay disciplined outside of them too. I sleep on time, so my mind stays sharp. I train my body to manage stress. I practice patience. So I'm not swept away by the chaos of the market. Discipline doesn't guarantee success. It won't make you a millionaire in a year, but it will keep you in the game. And in trading, if you're still alive, you still have a chance. I don't need big wins. I don't need hundreds of dollars in profits each day. I just need steady ones. I just need to protect my account, protect my mindset, protect my clarity. Because the greatest victory isn't on the chart. It's in the mind. It's being able to stay calm in a wild market. It's being able to cut a trade even when your heart aches. It's having the strength to sit out while everyone else jumps in like moths to the flame. That is real strength. And if you're walking this trading path too, I hope you come to understand the true value of one word: discipline. Not from books, not from theory, but from your own experience. Let every trade be something you're proud of. Not because it won, but because you did it right. Win or lose, you kept your integrity. You kept yourself. That is the real, lasting victory. Thank you for listening to my story if you're just starting out. If you've ever broken down or lost your way, I hope this video brings you a small light. A reminder that you're not alone. And if you found this content valuable, don't forget to follow the channel for more videos. I'll keep sharing about the journey of overcoming the fear of losing, how to build a sustainable trading plan, and especially how to train your mind so you won't get swallowed by the market. See you in the next video, wishing you strength and discipline on your trading journey. Because in this world, the one who survives to the end is the one who truly wins.